what really separates people who transform from those who stay stuck?
Well, here's the thing. What we learned early on in working with athletes is, transformation is, just like I said, it's a large amount of change in a short amount of time. The axiom that I use with everybody is you can't change if you don't learn, and you can't learn if you don't change.
If you don't change, yeah.
Okay? Now, that sounds simple. Great. Let's turn that into a poster. Yay. But what does that mean? Well, the problem here is we, as a society, global society, have been sold a bill of goods about learning. Because when we think learning, we tend to think school. And in school, learning meant memorize, right? And the process was the gaining of insight, understanding, information, facts, data, models, all for the sake of building and gaining understanding, because understanding was the holy grail. To understand is to know, right?
Right.
And in an academic sense, that probably works, but nowhere else.
Yeah.
So what we learned in working with athletes, and really clear, I'm sure you understand this, is what you understood was nice, but didn't really matter. Understanding's the booby prize. What matters is what can you do, right? So now, this is where people get their eggs a little scrambled. While your mind understands, and understanding can in fact occur in an instant, in the end it's your body that learns. Your mind understands, but it's your body that learns. And the body only learns one way, and that's through practice.
It's
Right?
in practice. Practice.
How you build competence. No amount of understanding ever produced competence in anything, period. Right?
Period.
So that's why one of the things that sets us apart is all of our programs unfold over time. I don't have any one-day wonder programs, right? You need to work for months to build new practices, to build new things. You know this in working with athletes. Nobody got to be good in a week, right? It's, he's an instant success. Yeah, well, he's an instant success that's been building for 15 years, right? So it's in understanding what it really takes, right? You have to stay with it. The whole notion of learning as we talk about a learning curve. It doesn't work that way.
No.
It's a stair-step process.
No.
And if you don't have a commitment to really to what we refer to as authentic learning, there's not going to be any learning, let alone any transformation. People give up too soon. Most adults don't ever learn anything, because the first step in actual learning is being a beginner. And a beginner is the person who makes all three of the following declarations. I see there's some domain in which I'm not competent, but I'm committed to learn. Number two, I'm going to authorize someone to coach me. The whole notion that I'm going to teach myself is just complete ridiculousness. I'm going to teach someone to coach me. I'm going to get guidance from somebody who's either been down this road or knows what they're doing, because I don't. And yeah, I might bump along, but I'm going to just bump along, as opposed to figure out where's the course here. And third, and this is the hard thing for adults, I'm going to be at peace with being a beginner. We are, as adults, so invested in looking cool that we won't take it's a beginner. When a beginner, you make all the dumb mistakes. My tennis serve looks like batting practice at baseball. Oh, there it is. It's up and over the 400-foot fence. When you go, if you're a beginner skier, this is where you spend most of your time, on your face or your butt. And most adults aren't willing to do that. No. So they don't learn anything and get cranky about it when you point that out.
Yeah.
So one of the things I tell people is what you're fighting as you get older is there's two. You of course know what arterial sclerosis is, right? Hardening of the arteries. Well, the thing that's more dangerous is what we call psychosclerosis, the hardening of the attitudes. And you watch it as people get older and more rigid, both physically and psychologically, until, what was this vibrant, 25-year-old is now, hey, you kids, get off my lawn. It's just, you got to keep stimulating the neural pathways. So I tell people, look, if you want to stay young, you want to be alive, you need to teach yourself something or learn something new. And by that something, I mean something physical every few years. right? And yes, it's uncomfortable, and I practice what I preach. I was a skier as a kid, and I still am. And the snowboarding came out, and I thought, well, no. But I resisted for a while, and I thought, okay, I'm going to check this out. Now, I know myself. I teach this stuff, and I'm not immune from it. I said, okay. So I booked private lessons. I'm not going to sit there with a bunch of 10-year-olds trying to learn how to. I was 45 at the time, right? Trying to learn how to snowboard. I booked a hotel room at the top of the mountain, paid for it in advance for the weekend. I drove. I didn't take my skis with me because I knew exactly what would happen. And for the first couple days, like I said, I was on the bunny hill, on my face, on my ass. And these little kids are whizzing by me, and I'm shaking my fist at them. Ah, you little bastards, you should see me ski. No, they didn't care. And by about day 3 then, oh, okay, I'm getting it. And so for, gosh, 2-3 years, all I did was snowboard. Got really good at it. The only thing I didn't like was, I don't know if you do any of these things, but you get flatted out. You have to unbuckle.
Yes.
That's like,
Yeah.
oh, this sucks.
Yeah, go to the bindings and
Yeah, all these new shaped skis that made it all so much easier. And I went back to skiing and have been doing that ever since. But the point is, you've got to keep the system stimulated, keep it moving.
Yeah, yeah. Chris, we have this fantastic say in French. C'est en forgeant qu'on devient forgeron, meaning if you want to be a blacksmith, there is only one way. Roll your sleeves, take the hammer and go in and practice and practice and learn and learn and learn. There is no other way. I fully agree with you. And thanks for sharing all that.
Well, and here's the thing. People can understand that when we're talking about sports or anything athletic, but it's no different when you're trying to learn a new leadership practice, a new management practice. People are like, well, why does your program take 9 months? Can't you condense it? Well, I can, but it won't do you any good, because you need that amount of time to learn these new practices, to go out and do them and have them not work and figure out how to do it right or how to do it better or how to do it, whatever term you like. And you need the coach to work with you over that time. People, I'm making stuff up now. You're 40, you're 50, you're 60 years old. You spent 30, 40, 50 years learning to be the you that you are now. It's not like, we're going to sit and talk to you for you should be insulted if somebody says we're going to change your behavior in a weekend as you sit here and listen to us. No, we're not. You'll go away with some great ideas, and you've seen this 1,000 times. Oh, we're all fired up, our hair's on fire, we're all motivated, we go back to work, and 3 days later, nothing's changed, only you're now questioning yourself. And that's the part I hate about that phenomenon. People they don't question the learning phenomenon, they question themselves. Maybe I'm the one who didn't get it. Is there something wrong with me? They don't consider that there's something wrong with the whole premise. That you're going to sit on a chair for 2 days and somehow 20 years of ingrained thinking and behavior is going to be dissolved in this new version that's going to emerge. It does not happen that way.